This is the story of two friends and college hoops maniacs who set off to Bloomington, Indiana to find out what Indiana basketball was all about. We are crossing the Indiana border, I think. Maybe we already did. Big weekend, fun weekend ahead. We've got Indiana tonight at home against Ohio State in prime time.
Should be a raucous environment at Assembly.
It's Assembly Hall. Put some respect on Assembly Hall.
I mean, honestly, one of the big things for me on this trip is I do want to understand Indiana a little bit more.
What is your perception of Indiana basketball going into today?
There's unseasoned.
They're not chicken.
If they were chicken, they'd be unseasoned.
One thing I'm excited about is I've always loved the candy stripes. I'm excited to see that in person.
Did you bring the candy stripe pants?
I did bring the candy stripe pants. I'm pretty excited about it. So, you know how like Michigan State is our version of basketball rivalry, hatred, love, blood, brother shit, you know? Like that's our state. I'm excited to see Purdue, Indiana and feel that a little bit. Obviously, we're not going for the rivalry game, but we're going to Indiana tonight. We're going to Purdue tomorrow. And I feel like I want to know at the end of this trip, if I lived in the state of Indiana, which one would I be a fan of?
I think you're disrespecting Indiana State.
I mean, Larry Bird's not walking through those doors.
The name of their school is Sycamores.
A lot of Indiana legends. Like, I'm a big Eric Gordon guy. Gracie Wright. DJ White.
Oladipo.
Will Sheehy.
Yogi Ferrell.
Christian Watford.
Colin Hartman. I mean, Tracy's been playing like the second coming of Tim Duncan. So.
Yeah, the other thing we should mention is like Zach Edey is everybody's National Player of the Year. But Trace has been better than Zach Edey for a month. I think at the end of this trip, we know who the better player is, Trace Jackson Davis or Zach Edey. Hey, Cart.
Yeah.
How do you feel about fresh fruit? Before we knew it, we had arrived in Bloomington, and our first impressions were great, but we still had questions that we wanted answered. Is Indiana a blue blood?
Nah, they're a historic program, they're not a blue blood.
Are they a red blood?
No, because they're not even red.
They're not red?
They're maroon.
They're red.
It's maroon.
It's crimson, which is red.
You sure it's not maroon?
Yeah. Maroon's Minnesota. You have not put any respect on Indiana so far. You don't know the name of Assembly Hall. You don't know the color scheme.
I literally said it's Assembly.
You said it's Assembly, isn't it? And now you're calling them maroon. It's the crimson.
Whoa.
This place is historic, man. I need you to act like some greats have come through this building.
They have.
I feel like you're talking about Indiana like it's Northwestern right now.
Oh, never would I ever disrespect to that level.
It seemed as if there were unlimited possibilities of things to do in Bloomington. The streets were alive with Hoosiers everywhere tailgating for the big game tonight, and we were ready to join them. Where are we going?
Look, they got a category, bars and clubs.
Initial thoughts, everybody's acting like this is a football tailgate. That's impressive to me. The streets are packed. It's over 4 hours until tip. We can't even check into Graduate Bloomington, which is gorgeous, by the way. Graduate Bloomington has complimentary chips, cookies, sodas, waters.
Everything.
Would have been nice had they thrown a seltzer in there, but can't blame them. Indiana, very attractive fan base, both male and female.
I'm not ready to get there yet. I'm not there yet.
Everyone I see looks like they'd be on like a Land's End catalog.
What is that?
If there's one thing that we love, it's upstairs.
A pub that's upstairs.
We're pretty easily entertained, and we found a spot that was made for us, the Upstairs Pub, which works exactly how it sounds. We made our way upstairs into the home of Hoosier Nation, where we grabbed some beverages and prepared ourselves to get a Hoosier win tonight. Is it everything you ever dreamed of?
Big Bloomington is what they call me. One says that you might be able to see all of Bloomington from this spot exactly.
It was time to head back downstairs and find some Hoosier gear, but for the first time on our trip, we were unimpressed.
Don't want to be too disrespectful, but definitely the lamest gear I've anywhere we've been. It's just Arial font and red and white. That's a nice shirt.
Well, you know what shirt we have?
Show the back.
My dog race.
You don't like that?
No.
What about like we in the 10? I'll see you at the 10.
No, it's called Bloomington.
I think we're in the 10. 10? I don't know. We gotta work on this. Bloomington's a lame name for a cool city.
B-Town's not much cooler.
It's why we're in the 10. We're in the 10. We're shutting down the 10 tonight.
You're shaped like a 10.
With our Hoosier gear acquired, we made our way to graduate Bloomington, where the history of Indiana basketball was overwhelming, and the complimentary snacks and drinks were a welcome sight to see. Little did we know, a place that lovingly honors a coach who threw chairs in disgust at his enemies could be so kind to guests from opposing fan bases. We were welcomed into the arms of the King Suite in graduate Bloomington.
I mean, come on, graduate Bloomington.
You're right. Like, this is the strip. This is the strip of Bloomington. We're here. We are on the strip. In a suite. You got a full-size fridge.
Looks like they knew the sleeps were coming.
Yeah, they did. This is what is it? Rolling out the crimson carpet. I might say.
Now that we were settled in and game time was rapidly approaching, we made our way back to the streets.
Go Hoosiers, baby.
Race Thompson Fan Club is here in Bloomington.
There's been some phrases thrown around. Bloomington is the Nashville of the Midwest. Is that?
I mean, let's just say this. Where do you go to get hot chicken? You can get that in the Ville, you can get that in the tin. Just felt the raindrop. First time in College Hoops to Go history that's happened. We're gonna try Nick's now. Everybody's been telling us first name, you ask where we need to go, it's Nick's. Apparently there's some special drink or shot or something there. It's pregame, 3 hours till tip-off. Again, this entire city is acting like it's their Super Bowl, and it's just a game against an 11-9 Ohio State team. Which, by the way, I respect the hell out of. I feel like that sounded like a little animosity towards it. No, this is a great college town.
Win, lose, still show up.
Why are you acting like they've already lost? All right, we just took our first L of the day. Nick's line was not moving straight up. We've gone from 3 hours till tip to about 2.5 hours till tip, and we just didn't move. So, hold on, we got a concert going on. While our Plan A trip to Nick's may have been a failure, our Plan B wasn't a Plan B at all. We went to Kilroy's, where we were once again wowed by the energy of Indiana fans. With just an hour left until tip-off, our warm-ups were over. It was time to get game ready and make our way to the historic Assembly Hall. The moment you step foot into Assembly Hall, you realize it's not just basketball here. It's a religious experience. And we were more than ready to experience it for ourselves. So we made our way down to court level, where nothing could prepare us for what we were about to see.
in the heart of your student section right now. I need y'all fellas to tell me, what does this game mean in 49 other states? It just means basketball. Here, I mean, what's it mean, Luke?
It's blood, it's family, it's blood. It's what
Here we are. Here we are.
Exactly. It's an identity that's been around since the 30s and 40s of just Indiana basketball.
I mean, we got the banners to prove it. We've been here. This is what we do. It's about hanging another banner and helping Purdue fans count to 6.
I mean, I see it right now. I haven't seen a student section show out like this. I mean, this far before the game. This is what you guys do every game. Is Ohio State mean a little bit more?
Ohio State's not even ranked. We always have a ranked opponent.
Always rooting against Ohio State. My ex, huge Ohio State fan. I'm rooting against her today. No matter who it is, we show up and show out every single day. We do that. Isaiah Thomas told us to do that, and we do. The Isaiah Thomas. Not the new one, the original, the goated one. See.
I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win.
Biggest dude out here, man. Can't get no skid. Oh! Woo! Sir!
They don't like big fellas here.
That's messed up. That's messed up.
It's more of a guard university.
I was gonna give it to the kid too.
Halftime in the 10, a.k.a. Bloomington.
Stop trying to make the 10 happen.
Indiana's on like a 24-0 run, it seems like. Hood-schifino has 90.
Trace Jackson Davis is the best player in the Big Ten.
Wow.
He is. Whether that translates to what Indiana does, but Trace Jackson Davis by himself is the best player in the Big Ten.
There's not a building you enter that feels like it's a powerhouse the way this one is.
Assembly Hall deserves it.
Yeah, this is not a sleeping. This is a giant.
A real giant.
Come on, big dog. Find me. On your left. Come on now. I need it. Oh, sir.
With the game over and an Indiana blowout win secured, we weren't quite ready to leave yet. So we made our way to the Oladipo Zeller Legacy Lounge, where the players kick back and relax after a big win at home. But we weren't done there. We walked across the street to the basketball office, where once again we were reminded of how historic and prestigious Indiana basketball really is. We were really starting to feel like Hoosiers, so we went back to graduate Bloomington and got ready for a night on the town.
Post-win in the 10.
The only thing on our to-do list that night was to avenge the only loss any Hoosiers in Bloomington had suffered all day, us not being able to get into Nick's earlier in the afternoon. So we made our way up the stairs into the bar that everyone had told us was the place to be, where we discovered that while basketball might be the number one game in Bloomington, the number two game is one you can only find at Nick's.
You guys are going to take turns pouring beer from your glasses into this thing. The person that makes this thing sink has to pull it out and drink it. It's got to be R-rated or no. It's got to be like a so it's got to be a string, and it's got to be above that. You make it sink 3 times in a row, you got to pick that bucket up and knock it.
Wow.
Salud.
Wow.
For the rest of the night, for longer than I'd like to admit, we stayed at Nick's and played Sink the Biz, the game that Nick's was infamous for with Hoosier fans and opposing fans alike. We ended the night like true Hoosiers, but there was still one thing left to do.